Hi everyone! I was poking around on YouTube and found a whole lot of videos for making fondant or gum paste roses made with cutters. You know, it's just not necessary. Save your money and use your money to buy the fondant if you want to make some roses. Here's what mine look like. No cutters involved. There's a bud, a semi, and a full. Alright, let me show you how. The first thing you're going to need is fondant. I buy the regular old Wilton variety that you can probably find in your local store. Use some cornstarch if you have a sticky surface. You need an offset spatula, makes it easier for getting them off the table. And a bench scraper or a hand spatula. This is flexible. This is the kind you want. There's also a rigid kind. These are much more difficult to work with, so I don't recommend them. These are very hard. Alright, let's get started. First thing you need is fondant. I'm going to start with just some fondant, roll it into a ball, and then shape it into a cone. The cone doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to see the cone after the rose is finished. Alright, there we go for our base. Then we're going to take some fondant, roll it out into a snake. Now the number of petals that you're going to cut depends on what size rose you'd like to make. The bud that I showed you has just 3 petals. The next size up has 7. If you want to do a full bloom rose, you can go for 11. Alright, here we are. All I'm going to do is cut off little pieces for the petals. 1, 2, 3 if you're going to do a bud. We'll do a semi. So we need 3 more. Now, if you're new at this and you're just starting to learn, you want to put the rest of your fondant back in a plastic bag or cover it with plastic wrap so it doesn't dry out while you're working. Start with a small number of petals. You can take these and squish them right from here, or if you want, you can take the time to roll them into a ball and then press them onto your countertop. Either way works, and to be honest with you, I rarely take the time to roll them into a ball. I just kind of form them into a nice round form with my finger as I do it like that. Right? Then you take your flexible hand spatula and you're going to press on each one. You can see it grow in size already. I give it a really firm press. I'm leaning on it. Take that smooth part. All you're going to do is start at the part that's furthest away from you, and you're going to work from one side, from the middle, down one side, and then down the other. You want to leave the center of the petal thicker. That gives you stability in your rose, but you want to make the edge thin so that it looks like a real petal. So I'm just going to press lightly and pull around. Now, if you press too hard, what'll happen is your petal will tear. If that happens, just take it off the table, roll it up, and start again. It's okay. All right? It's nice and gentle so that it doesn't rip. You'll see it getting thinner. I can see in this that I can see my countertop through the edge. All right, so just nice and gentle. Pull down on each side. More pressure towards the edge so that the middle stays thicker. And then I'll take my offset spatula and go underneath one very quickly just to release it from the table. Pick up your cone. You want to choose your petal that's the smallest to go in the center in case they, for some reason, are not the same size. Wrap it around. Our goal is to cover the cone completely, so you want to take that first petal and really tuck the edge in. That way we won't see it at all. Okay? Tuck it and you can unfurl that one. Make sure it's standing up nice and straight. The next petal that you take, you're going to cover that one. So line it up. Make sure that the height of this petal is the same height as this. Look at it from the side so that you know. Push it down and stretch it so that it adheres nicely to the other one. Frill your petal back and take the time to shape it now because you won't get to later. And the next petal goes opposite that. Press it down again, stretch it, making sure that it's the same height. Right? Frill it and shape it. Now, if you stop here, this is what we had before. This was my bud size. So you can stop here, or you can go on to the next row. If you're going to go into the next row, go right where that joins, press it down, make sure it's at the right height, press it down, stretch it, pull it back. Now this row is going to have 3 petals, so we want to visually divide the space into thirds when we put on our next petal. Okay, put it down, stretch it. So now 2/3 of that row is taken up, and then I come in for my last petal, make sure it's the right height, push it together, stretch it, and attach it. Right, and that's the medium-sized one that I had made, a semi full bloom. Okay, now to take it off, I start rolling it between my fingers, and I feel the weight of that cone dropping off, and that's it. Take it like that and flatten it. These look beautiful on a cake if you use real rose leaves. A lot of people think that they're real. You can use powdered color to dust them, and they're lovely. I hope you'll give it a try without spending a lot of money on cutters or tools. Thanks.